Hello guys. So today we're going to start with the first class for the model A6. So just a quick reminder for this month's dates. So we're starting today the 31st and we're going to have the first unit until the 4th of February. So this day you're going to have the first quiz for the unit number 1. Unit number 2 starts right after the next day, and the test for unit 2 is on the 10th. The third unit starts on the 11th of February, and the quiz for that unit is on the 16th. Now for the fourth unit, we start the 17th, quiz 21st, and finally the last unit, the 22nd until the 25th. Remember, the last week is always the shortest because we have the final test, which is scheduled for that last Friday, the January 25th. And remember, it's the 40% of the total score. So after being said that, we're going to start with the first topic. So the past continuous is a tense that we haven't seen yet. And it's basically characterized by the verb be in past, which, as you know, is was or were, right? Depending, singular for was, or was for singular, sorry, and were for plural subjects. And then we add ing to the base form of the verb. So basically that's the form: was or were plus the infinity, the gerund form of the verb, right? So how do we form this sentence, or when do we use this tense? Sorry, we use it to show or describe an action or something that is happening happening in progress. So this tense is also called past continuous or past progressive. So they're talking about something that is happening but in the past. All right, that's the only difference between present continuous. No, past continuous is just happening in the past, and we have to use the verb be in past tense too. So let's see an example. Now the question goes, how was your flight? So here we have an information question, right? Because it's asking how, no? How is an information question, so your answer could be anything. And then they go was. How was your flight? No? And then they go terrible. A little boy was kicking. That means that this was happening during the flight, right? Past tense. Was kicking. No, the verb be was, because we're talking about a boy, singular, kicking, past tense, the ing, the verb plus the ing. No, then another interaction, the mother and the little boy were talking all the time. This is implying that something during the past in not determinate time, no, they were doing something. They were talking. Were, because it's plural, mother and little boy, right? They were talking. Again, verb plus ing, talk, talking. So let's see the next one. Okay. Now, when we want to make negative, we put not and after was or were, and we always have the contraction, right? It is either wasn't or were, right? So let's see. So for example, the little boy, negative, he wasn't sleeping, right? He wasn't, or they weren't. If we talk about the previous example, so we have the negative. No? This comes from was not, but we always use contraction in informal conversation, right? This is plural, right? One little boy, that's why was. and they is plural, right? They, contraction, they were not, right? Weren't watching them. So this is the form to create a negative sentence or statement. Now, when we want to make questions, we just change the order like we always do for questions. And let's see an example. So instead of saying, for example, Sam was waiting for Kate, we change the order, right? Was goes first, and then the subject usually goes after the verb be, between the verb be and the ing, the verb plus the ing, not the internet. So let's see a little interaction. Anna, was Sam waiting for you? So because it's talking about you, was he waiting for you? Answer, short answer, yes, he was. No, this is a yes, no answer. Or yes, no question, sorry. So yes, he was. Another question, was your bag, remember ing, waiting for you? No, it was. So depending if you have a negative or affirmative answer, we either answer yes plus the subject and then the verb be. If it's plural, could be yes, for example, yes, they were, or maybe no, they weren't, right? We just change this depending on the subject, yes, singular or plural. In this example, they're talking about singular, right? A person or a bag. That's why it's was or wasn't. Now, when we want to make information questions, this means that we want to know something. We can have question words such as who, what, where, or when before was or where. So we start with the question word, right? And the subject. So let's see. Where was where Sam was waiting for Kate. So we have the question word, right? The subject, and then the verb be. So that's the order to make an information question. And see more examples. So the question word, it could be anything, right? What, who, where, when, no? What was Kate doing in New York? She was at the national, no? Remember the verb be is talking about the person, right? So was or where is always about the person, information about that person. However, when we combine was plus the ing, is something that something that was in progress, right? Second question, who was Kate helping? Who was helping her brother, right? Again, information, who, not a person. So yes, that is. And finally, well, we're already seeing this, no? Contraction. So this is the form, a little summary. When we want to make tenses in past, we have the subject for affirmative statements, right? For affirmative, we have first the subject, either was or were, depending if it's singular or plural, plus the verb with the ing. No? For example, she was cooking. Then for negative statements, it's the same subject, either, which is she in the same example, was or were, again was because it's singular, right? Then the verb plus the ing, cooking or sleeping. However, we have the not. And remember, for the negative statement, we have contractions which are wasn't. Remember, we always use contractions for negative statements in informal conversations. And finally, for questions, we basically just change the order. No? Was she sleeping when he came home? Were they cooking last night? No? We're just asking, or we want to know information that was in progress in the past, during, in maybe in a specific or non-specific time, but we want to know something. And when we, this example of a question is a yes/no type of question, right? Or short answer. But when we want to have when we want to know more information, we can put this. We can put a question word before was. No? For example, where was she sleeping when he came home, or what time was she sleeping? So it could be anything, right? So just try to organize what you want to ask, no? And then choose the question word, and then obviously the answer, it could be anything. In this example, this specific example, the answer is always going to be yes, she was, or no, she wasn't, right? However, when it's an information type of question, the information could be anything, right? So basically this is the topic, and it's very easy. And usually this topic is confused with the past simple. And basically what's the difference? That the difference is that in continuous, something is in progress. And when it's in the past, is something that already happened. So for example, here, what is it? Is it past simple or continuous? I drank, ate, was sleeping, or I play when I fell down. So we have to try to recognize if it's continuous or past tense. So these usually, let's see, maybe it will be continuous. Let's see. Right? Sorry. So let's take a look. Yes. It's talking about something that was in progress when something else happened. I was playing when I fell down. This was happening and then they fell down. Next one. It says, when I saw him, he, what do you think? Was drinking, drunk, was eating some ice cream at the shop. Yes, was probably was eating. When I saw him, he was eating. So we're talking about something that was in progress. Then she drank, she saw, she was cooking, she cooked some chicken soup when her husband called her from work. So here is saying that maybe she was doing something and then she got a call from her husband. So it's probably continuous. Let's see. Yes, now she was cooking and then she got a call. Then my mother was cooking, worked, drunk, was drinking some coffee at the coffee shop when she saw her best friend on the street. So this is probably something in continuous, and then something else happened when she saw her best friend. So you can eat coffee, you can drink. She was drinking some coffee at the coffee shop, no? And finally, my best friend came to see me, past, when I was studying, I studied, I played. For my test, I was so happy she came to me. So it's probably that's something in progress, when I was studying for my test. She came to see me. Yes. Usually, past continuous and simple past are can describe something in the past, maybe different actions that happen, maybe one in progress and some other action in the just simple past that interrupts this activity. Or sometimes we can have two activities that happen at the same time. So for example, here you see when. Not when introduces or interrupts the activity, right? I was playing when I fell down, or when I saw him, he was eating. So the use of when is to put these two ideas or two activities together, right? That's one that is in progress, and the other one, it just happened, right? That's the difference between continuous, in progress, past, it happened. No, it happened already. And there is another like word that we use with the past continuous, which is while. So we can say, for example, while I was playing, my friend was playing with her phone, for example. Not while it means that two things could happen at the same time, not separately, but both things can happen at the same time. How do we spell that? It's while. No? So now I can say I was playing while my kids were eating. So in both cases, I have progressive, right? I was playing, they were eating. So the use of while is to describe two things that are happening, no? At the same time, but different actions, no? It's not the same to say playing or eating, right? So that's basically the summary for this topic. I hope you understand a little bit better activity in English lab. So that's all for today's